What's up, MozyGirl? It's MozyGirl. Welcome back to my channel. Today is part 3 of the Noughts Across the series, and we have the lovely, one of my favorite books in the series, Checkmate. Now, once again, it's been loved, it's been read, definitely. But you don't know, before we get into anything, we have to do a recap of book 2. So book 2, Knife Edge, basically follows Sephi after she's given birth to her daughter Callie Rose and her navigating motherhood. Something I did not mention in part 2 was that she was also dealing with postpartum depression. So battling with that, plus also being young, plus also having the scandal of having a mixed baby, as they call a heifer, that was a lot for her to handle. In addition, her status in the world, because her dad was a politician, wasn't that great. So she had to find help elsewhere in raising her baby, and also in just finding a steady job and trying to just go through life and make the best decisions that she could for her baby. Although not all her decisions were the best of decisions. But you're just gonna have to read the book to find that out. In this book, we see Callie Rose's life as she grows, matures, and has her own relationship with her mother, her own complicated relationship with her mother, I would say. Because of all that Sephi has dealt with, she struggles to show her emotions properly, or when I say properly, I mean clearly. So Callie has some struggles with that. And this book, it starts off with a prologue, and it starts off with like a flash forward, and then majority of the chapters are flashbacks leading up to the present day. So as I said, this book follows Callie's life, mostly Callie's life. There is also different points of views in this book. I think there's about 3, maybe 4 um different POV chapters in this book, but it's mostly about Callie's life and how she deals with things and what she learns about her past, what she learns as she gets older and understands and matures, and those kinds of things. But her point of view starts in chapter 3. Rose is 7.5. Now, to give you some more context for this book, I'm going to read the back of the book. I don't believe I did this for the last book. I apologize. But I'm going to read the back of the book because me talking about this book, I just get so excited, and I don't want to spill too much because this is a book review. I'm just telling you things to grip you in so that you would read it. So it says Callie Rose never met her father. All she knows is that he was a Nought and her mother was a cross. Growing up in a world where dual heritage means a life of bitter prejudice, Rose often wonders if she resembles him, if they would have been close, if he would have understood. So beautiful. And I just want to say this. This is at the front of the book, and it says, "Can the future ever erase the past?" That is a quote right there. Can the future ever erase the past? Like, that's something that really gets you thinking, where did she come up with that? But back to the book. So as a child, Callie is very energetic. She's very sweet. She's very kind. She's also very, very innocent. She doesn't understand anything. She doesn't understand why people dislike the fact that she has dual heritage, why she's a mixed race child. She doesn't understand the fact why her mom feels so distant. She doesn't understand the fact that why having a white friend is such a big deal. She doesn't understand any of these things. And slowly but surely, that innocence is very much tainted by a specific character we already know that I hate. You're right. You'll see how I just gradually get more excited as I start to talk about the book. This is why I have to tame myself. So, the character we all know and have our own opinions about, Jude, comes into the picture and introduces her to some new perspectives on life, and it tells her some information that definitely changes her, not for the better. And with that growing relationship that she has with Jude, she starts to resent her mom. She starts to talk back. She starts to just get into this different kind of headspace that affects her very negatively. And ultimately, we see a new side of her grandmother, her maternal grandmother, Jasmine. When Jasmine finds out about what's been going on with her, she formulates this entire plan to, let's just say, put an end to it. Now, when that plan unravels, it really just leaves you so shocked because you really don't know what's going to happen. And then when it happens, it's like, Jasmine, you're evil, but you're a genius. You're scary. But in addition to the very, I would say, tragic but kind of well deserved ending, she also brings Callie and her mom closer again when they are stuck in her wine cellar and talk about their problems and really just get everything out in the open so that they can heal and evolve as mother and daughter. So, you already know I feel like I yap and I yap and I yap and I don't fully properly summarize. So, we're re summarizing now. Callie is young. Callie gets older. Callie finds out things that she probably didn't want to find out. Callie hates her mommy and decides to do something very tragic because she gets depressed. And before she can do that tragic thing, her grandma steps in, brings her closer to her mommy, and we end on a tragic note because, of course, we cannot end with a happily ever after. Never. Not with this series. Now let's get into the characters. So the main characters are Seffi, Callie Rose, Grandma Jasmine, and Jude. So let's start off with Seffi. Seffi's been through a lot, like a lot. I don't give you all a lot of details because I feel bad. I feel like if I talk too much, then I just spoil the book. But if I talk too little, then you don't understand the book and you don't understand. But there's just so many details about her life that I'm not going to tell you at all. But Seffi's been through a lot, and therefore she has a hard time showing Callie the kind of care that she deserves. Ultimately, her lack of telling the truth and her lack of showing that kind of care is her downfall. But she makes up for it in the end, don't worry. Moving swiftly along to Callie Rose. Now, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with Callie because on one hand, I understand that it's probably very heartbreaking to find out that your whole life was a lie and all of those things. And also the way that her relationship with her mom is portrayed, I understand that that's a lot to handle. But you did not have to go to the extent that you wanted to go, Miss Callie, Miss Rose. Calm down. Yeah, I will say it is really sad to see how her personality was just so tainted as she got older and just, reality slapped her in the face. Next up, we have the biggest mediator, Nana Jasmine. And I say Nana Jasmine because that's what Callie calls her. And speaking of which, remember when I said in this last book review that Seffi wrote a lot of letters to Callie? The reason I said that was because it's kind of a parallel moment, or maybe more of a contrast moment. I don't know. But Callie also writes letters, but not to her mommy. Now let's get back to Nana Jasmine. Now, as I said, she is the biggest mediator. She's not as present in this book as she was in book 1 and book 2. However, she still plays a vital role in the plot and the story itself because, I mean, she's really important. All she ever wanted was to make things right with her daughter Seffi before she went on to go with the Lord. And also try to grow and be a better person because, as mentioned in the first book, she was an alcoholic, so she's also dealing with trying to get into a better a state of health as she, gets older. She's an elder now. Next up, we have Mr. I Live by 6 Rules Jude. Is it obvious that I don't like him at all? Yeah. And funny enough, the man added more rules to his list. We'll get to that in the quotes. To summarize his entire character, he's the biggest antagonist, he's the biggest bacchanalist, he's the biggest instigator, he's just terrible. Terrible. But he adds to the plot, so what can we do about that? Now, our favorite segment, quotes. We're starting off fresh with the prologue. Now, this prologue is written in third-person perspective, and it's talking about basically Jude and life in the Liberation Militia. Once you read it, you'll understand how important it is, and it just starts off with the gospel moment because that's not what you expect. It's really, okay. Now it says, which of the general's life laws applied? Number 17. The only good cross is a dead cross. No. Probably number 18 was more apt. Ask and don't get, but demand with medicines and receive with equanimity. Oh, I'm sorry. Equanimity. That's a word. I don't know what that word means. Now take a wild guess who the general is. This book just this entire series just too much. Anyways, I just have a few more. This is a scene where Seffi is reflecting on a moment. I smiled at our fingers together. How I loved the contrast in our skin color, alternating brown and pink, cross and noughts, me and Callum. And another one, this is the last one. I don't have much for this because it's just a lot. By the way, I'll tell you how much chapters this book has. All right, last quote. Like he was me and I was him, and we can never go back to being two people. I just think that's so beautiful and would just be a great line to use for a wedding or something. Now, let me tell you how much chapters is in this book and tell you how long it took me to finish it. Not that I'm a slow reader or anything. 126 chapters. 126 chapters and 510 pages. Okay, I think it took me like 3 4 months to finish reading because I would pick it up, put it back down, pick it up, put it back down. It was a cycle. Okay, it was a cycle. I forgot one more quote. My apologies. It's very important to like the one you're with as well as love them, Callie Rose. Don't you forget that. The end. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a big fat juicy like, subscribe to the MozyGirl and hit the notification bell so you always get a what? Ting-a-ling, 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 hey, ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling. I don't know where that one come from. I don't have a song for that one. Yeah. Every time I post a new video, I love you guys so, so much. And I hope you have an enjoyable and safe carnival weekend. Make sure to bring your fan, your hand sanitizer, and keep everything safe in your little pouch, right? But also, I hope that one day you get to read this amazing series because we're almost done, guys. That's so sad. But it's gonna be alright. Bye, guys.